All right, so more information that is on that's printed on the outside of the cable. If we were to look up here, we can see that it's 6 AWG and it's 3 conductors, but then there is this SOOW designation next to it. There is a voltage rating, and then there is also a temperature rating, and all of this is important information. Right? So remember, voltage is how excited electrons are, right? So they're bouncing around. And the higher the voltage, the thicker the insulation that we're going to need, right? So a 600 volt cable is going to have a thicker insulation than a 300 volt cable. And you can see 300 volts down here at the bottom. Right? So a voltage rating determines not power handling capacity, but how thick the insulation is. Right? The temperature rating is how cold and how hot this cable can operate in safely before it starts to deteriorate. So if you look at this, if you know your Celsius to Fahrenheit conversions, this cable can operate safely up to 90 degrees Celsius, and water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, which is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very hot. This cable can get very hot before it starts to degrade. And if you're thinking about using cable in an outdoor environment, maybe you're in Miami doing a summer music festival and you're going to have cable that's laying on a hot parking lot, it might be very easy to get to 90 degrees C, and you want to be sure that your wire is not going to deteriorate. In addition to those, the temperature rating and the voltage rating are these letters, SOOW. If you look down here, you'll see this one says SJOOW. And these have specific meanings too. Let's advance my slide, right? And so it talks a little bit about the jacket, right? So the S stands for service wire, right? Which is standard cable, if you will, right? It's got a thick jacket on it. It's extra heavy duty. It's going to be able to withstand whatever you need to do with it. SJ cable stands for service junior cable. SJ is only rated for 300 volts, whereas S cable is rated for 600 volts, right? So that junior rating is much thinner insulation, right? It's not rated for anything over 300 volts. It's much lighter and easier to use, and I like using it in some theatrical applications, right? The O stands for oil resistance, right? W stands for weather or water resistance. So you can look at this table that's over here, and let's see, SJ, hard service cord, 300 volts, 60 volt C or 60 degrees C, SJO, but is oil resistant, right? Right. So you want to pick the right cable for the environment that you may be working in, right? So SO cable is oftentimes what you'll find in theatrical application. So all of this information is stamped on the outer jacket and gives you an idea of what this cable is rated for, both as a conductor as well as its insulation properties. And we'll be back with more.